Good morning. It's Saturday morning, qualify day. And there that is. And Aidan's over there. So, morning Aidan. Morning Aidan. Light here. And these lights inside there won't go in there yet, but well, ground. I should have brought a mat. Anyway, I'll take you to the kitchen. Saw that one. They're a fair distance with the GoPro lens. Oh, there's a few of them coming around now. This is Moto3 class. Oh hi, so it's Saturday, it's a week on from the GP weekend. So the update is that most of this mess is still here. Got back on Sunday, didn't actually go into the track. We were out of the caravan park I think by 10:30 maybe. The weather, it had been drizzling, a light rain, basically not long after I went to bed Saturday night, till literally most of the night I could just hear it. and I thought, well, this is going to be fun packing up the next day. Friday afternoon and Saturday, the weather was actually not too bad. It drizzled a little bit when we got to the track, but it fined up for sure. And Saturday, it was good, really good. The tent, that was a nuisance to set up. That's basically where it's at when we came home on, as you will see in the video, or you saw in the video. It was pretty ordinary. Underneath, all here, it was all muddy. I should have taken a mat. I should have taken this. That would have been perfect. That would have allowed us to walk around the tent as well. But you know what? It got to a stage during the weekend where I had to not focus on the crap and focus on the good stuff. And I was doing that at the track. I was focusing on the good stuff. I really enjoyed, loved being there. 3 years away, you feel it. When you love the sport, you do appreciate being back, and it feels like a second home to me. Super V8s, World Superbikes, MotoGP. I've been there a lot anyway. But anyway, so these single mattresses, they're called the June 4-wheel drive Supreme 3D mats. They're good. This is the queen size. So when Rona and I go camping, we can use that. I don't think Rona's actually be wrapped for that. These ones, I did have, excuse me, I did have a bit of a lie on these. They're actually not too bad. They're pretty good. They're quite easy to pump up. Both of them are self-inflating. But you can also use, I don't know where it is, a lot of stuff could be in the house as well. But yeah, so these were it was the first time last weekend that I was using these things. Whoops, I'll explain this too. It was the first time I was using them. So when you're using things for the first time, it's a lot of trial and error. But yeah, I worked out how to pump them up. Even though they're self-inflating, you can also add more air in there to give it a little bit more, or to make it quicker. These are good for that. This one, you can put more air into it, pump up the queen. But I noticed that the material, the spongy material, or whatever you call it, I don't know what's in it, but that it self-inflates. These you can put extra air in it, and it's fantastic. This one, between the actual material inside it and the whatever foam, whatever you want to call it, and the material, what it's made of, it's almost like the air going in, extra air going in, was not going in there properly anyway. So I tried it, and I had to lie on the thing just to get the excessive air out. It was almost like bubbling up, a bit like a bloody waterbed or something. Yeah, so Rona ended up coming down Friday night. Basically, I was more than 3/4 of the way to the island, and I realised I'd forgotten the LED lights that I usually put up under the gazebo. And I didn't want to be sitting there all night, so I got Aidan to try and Google what might have been on the island, like camping stores, and he couldn't find anything. And even I pulled over when I got to the caravan park, before I went into reception, I was Googling, couldn't find anything. Saturday morning, after Rona had arrived, brought dinner. She actually that's why she came down, was to bring the lights with her, couple of red wines to save me. I had a drink at the track because the tent just done my head in. It was drizzling once we got there. When you get a dirty sponge and you squeeze it, and you can see all the dark shit come out, the mud, the dirt, whatever you want to call it. it was like you put your foot down on a muddy, really soggy, dirty, grassy area, and all you can see is, you know, dirty water and mud and all that. Well, that's what it was like, and it was just, yeah, shit house. And then trying to figure out the tent, it was annoying. Drizzled a couple of times while trying to put it up, and you know, it's like you just want to just go, rah! But anyway, so it was late morning. I said to the boys after we got the tent up, I said, right, let's just say, you know, fuck it, let's just find out about the shuttle bus, even though the lady at reception had told us, and she basically told us, don't rely too much on the times because the timetable for the shuttle bus has gone to shit. That's what she said. Pretty sure of it anyway, because, you know, normally when people in those situations can be honest enough to speak like that, I find it funny, and, you know, also appreciate the honesty behind it. From my Nespresso machine, I love it. So anyway, the beautiful wife came down. She hadn't been well at all earlier in the week, not at all. So she'd put on a big improvement. So, but I did say to her, because she was working all day, and I did say, well, if you come down, I basically demand for you to stay the night because you'll be too tired. You'll be tired coming down and too tired to go back. So it was great having Rona for the night anyway. Really appreciated that, and gave me a chance to talk to someone when the boys wanted to piss off somewhere. So we really did have a good time. Like I said, you've got to just try and keep out the negative shit, you know, that the weather was helping to you know, in your head, and then focus in on the good stuff, and I did that at the track. Loved it. Rona ended up taking, when we ended up the new inverter. I have got another inverter, but the cabling is frayed, and I don't know if it's because of the cabling or there was something wrong with the inverter, but it wasn't working properly. And when we went to the town beach in Tocumwal, New South Wales, it was playing up, and realistically I think we only had the LED, it was keeping the LED lights on under the awning of the camper trailer going, as well as the lights, the LED lights inside the camper trailer, and it was just making, I don't know, weird noises and just cut out or something like that. And I thought LED lights just run off nothing almost, so they shouldn't be even coming close to testing the 1500 watt inverter. So anyway, there was, like I said, frayed cables, but yeah. So I bought a new inverter, so took that, didn't use it, because I also bought a new 115 amp hour battery from King's, four-wheel drive super center. So that worked a treat. I do have another one, but I've had that for a few years, and that was starting to go off the boil. So the new one worked well. So that kept the LED lights going. We also charged up mobile phones and phone chargers when we needed to. I also took that with me. That actually is not bad. That's not bad because we've got a connection for it for 240 as well as 12 volt. And off the 12 volt, on the Triton, the two 12 volt plugs in the tub, they are good. Runs off well, as well as the 12 volt plug in the cabin of the Triton. So yeah, Rona took the inverter back, car fridge. I have got a big Esky, a really good one, but it's too big because I remember going in to buy it at BCF, and there was the smaller one and the bigger one, and I was just like, I was so indecisive. Probably in the 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 20 minutes I stood in front of them, like, oh, you know, what about if, yeah. So I went with the bigger one, and I've regretted it because each time I look at it, the first thing that comes to mind is it's too big. So we'll sell that and get a smaller one. But yeah, so, and that actually was the reason that I took the car fridge there, because it is smaller. And yeah, so the stove, that's a bloody good stove actually. But anyway, so Rona took that back as well. And the good wife also got some dinner for us, which, oh man, I appreciated. Really did. Some burgers. Was it burgers? Some burgers and definitely potato cakes, and they were nice too. There is a fish and chip shop. I think she definitely got them at a fish and chip shop, hence potato cakes. But it's there was a cafe restaurant called Inline Cafe or something like that. That used to be in Melbourne North, and then went to Phillip Island. But anyway, so that closed, I think, during the pandemic, during COVID lockdowns. But anyway, so there's a fish and chip shop near there, and yeah, it's actually quite good. Anyway, so the bottles of wine that Rona brought, and she brought the boys a couple of drinks each, and so it was a good time like that. And the Saturday night was good, and the boys again nicked off to do their thing. And a couple of times, and a couple of blokes came over and had a bit of a yarn with me, which was good. Yeah, so I had a great time. I really did. I was knackered by Saturday night. Sunday morning, when I heard the rain all night, I just thought, oh my God, the grounds are going to be just horrible. And like I said, the tent was just, it's like trying to put, when you don't know, when you're opening up a tent for the first time and setting it up for the first time, and you're going to be putting it down for the first time, and you look at the size of the bag, which is not small, but yeah, when you look at the tent, you think, oh my God, how am I going to put a square peg into a round hole? So what I did in the end was just basically fold up the tent as best I could, throw on top of the roof rack, and then everything else that we had put in, rolled up and put into their bags. Oh, this one, I've got to tell you about this. I've only got 6% on the battery here, so I might end up getting another battery. This, friggin' brilliant. Now, the tent has inbuilt lights in the two compartments where you sleep, and the middle compartment where you can also sleep, but that you may just use as a storage space. It's got, so the built-in lights. These boxes here have 4 D-size batteries. 4 D-size batteries. So you connect it. They've got cabling inside the tent which you connect up, and it's actually friggin' brilliant. It's quite an invention actually. So I actually do really enjoy the tent. I didn't put it up to its to the best, to its maximum capabilities. You could have awnings out, like the awning I put out was nothing compared to what I saw on the YouTube channel. That Rona found a YouTube on how to set up and take down this particular tent. And yeah, it is involved. I mean, the guy had probably put it up in about 5 minutes, but he obviously knew what he was doing. It only took me about an hour and a half. So, I'm not too far off the pace. That we've had that for a few years. Bloody Bonza, heavy as fuck, but Bonza. I can't put that off on the roof rack by myself. It was a good weekend. I had to pull over a few times just to make sure everything on the roof rack was fine and the tent wasn't going to go flying, but it looked like from the front that it was just all going to go to shit and fly everywhere, but it wasn't. It was secure. But, when you're tired, you get a little bit paranoid, etc. Small problems are magnified. And we had a great time. We got our hats, we're patriotic lads. We got Remy Gardner and Jack Miller, Thriller Miller. Car's a mess. Sorry, Trotty, it's a mess. Haven't washed that yet. I just basically came home Sunday, took everything off the roof rack, and yeah. I'm going to run out of battery power soon, so if I keep this video going, I'll get another battery. Anyway, it's all along there, but you know, all the best to the people who like to keep their four-wheel drives clean and sparkling and all that. I do like it clean, don't get me wrong, but I also like to use four-wheel drives for what they're built to be, you know, to be able to do. Yeah, as you can tell, I've had this. Look at this. Remember in a previous video? And that it bent all through there. I've been meaning to see if that can be replaced. Oh yeah. There's another dent here. This was yonks ago. Where is it? Just there. Just there. Yeah, I was going to a workmate's place and went into the wrong property and ran over a big fucking rock. So yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to touch base on what had happened last weekend. It was fantastic. Weather was challenging. We were supposed to have gone down Thursday night and set up the tent, but no way that was going to happen. No way in the world. So I also want to apologise for the short video. Yeah, I just didn't get I didn't get the GoPro out and film much at all, as either you will have seen if I put this at the end of the video or at the start, whatever. I just basically got the mobile phone out and just recorded whatever and just pretty much left it at that, you know, used the phone to post. Didn't get the GoPro out much, not that I wasn't interested, but when you're sort of busy. Oh, there's Aidan. He's run back in the house. He's seen me with a GoPro and he's literally just shaking his head and just walked off. He's a real bummer with the GoPro. His mate Riley, I swear to God, his eyes light up when he sees the GoPro. You know, if it's a chance to make him famous, he's probably all for it. Aidan's like the opposite. It's like he wants to just, you know, no way he wants to be part of that. When I was Aidan's age, I loved videoing, loved it. Anyway, so just want to let you know what was happening. Thank you.